Good morning, everybody. It's actually Monday, April 19th, but you guys won't be seeing this video for a couple weeks. It is a beautiful day, 9:20 in the morning. And today I wanted to talk about what's in this box over here. This is actually a box from my data recovery house, DriveSavers, out of Nevada, California. And I've actually known about these guys for a good 30 years. For those of you that don't really know me, I've actually been around computers and IT 38 years. I started to get involved in this stuff when I was 5 years old, and about 30 of those years or so were spent around IBM PCs and compatibles. And I remember very well, it was probably sometime in the early 90s, I got a magazine called Computer Shopper. And Computer Shopper was basically, when I say magazine, I mean this book was about the size of a dictionary. And in it were ads and articles and news and basically anything computer related you could imagine. And I actually saw the ad for DriveSavers in the Computer Shopper ad section back then in the early 90s. Remembered those guys, wound up looking them up again as a senior in college when a professor of mine had somebody that needed to get some data recovery done, gave her the name, and then later on, as Litchfield County Computer started to take off, and even before that, as Litchfield County Computer was getting started, I started using DriveSavers to do my more complex data recovery jobs. And they've been around since 1985. As I said, they're based out of Nevada, California. They have what is known as a Class 5 clean room on site. What that means is the air inside that room is 10,000 times cleaner than the air in your traditional environment that you and I breathe. Inside this clean room, they can actually open up hard drives and repair them without fear of dust contamination, which inside a hard drive can be potentially disastrous. And this allows them to do some extremely advanced data recoveries that just aren't possible for some of the other data recovery houses. They will recover data from hard drives that have been involved in anything. Hard drives that simply fail, hard drives that have been in fires, floods, tornadoes, natural disasters. I think I might have told you guys this story before, but they did a recovery from a hard drive that was on the Space Shuttle Columbia when it burned up. If I didn't tell you that story, I'll do that in another video. That's quite a fascinating story. A lot of the stuff that I send them is hard drives that have failed. And what happens is when I get a hard drive that needs data recovery done, I first of all, I talk it over with the customer, let them know what's going on. And by the way, the recoveries are not cheap. They typically will run somewhere around $2,400. So these are not guys that you want to be calling on a regular basis, believe me. What I do is I go over it with the customer, and I get the authorization from the customer to send the drive out to them, at which point I call them, and I typically will give them some specifications from the drive and the data that I need to investigate having recovered, and they will send me a FedEx shipping label, at which point I can then pack up the drive and get it over to the local FedEx facility. And this is an overnight FedEx shipping label, so it gets sent overnight to their main office in Nevada, California, and it gets taken in. And at that point, they start to look at it. Now, prior to them actually getting it, they will give me a very wide estimate range. Usually it's somewhere between $700 and $2,700. Then they will look at it and usually give me a call and also notify the customer, and they'll give me a much tighter range, say between, I think this last one was between $1,600 and $2,500. And then, provided the customer authorizes the recovery to be attempted, they will attempt the recovery. And then when the recovery is complete, if they are successful in recovering the data, which they are in about 90% of cases, they will then inform the customer and myself that the recovery is finished and that payment is required. If they don't have a payment method on file, I will have my customer give them a credit card number, at which point they will ship the drive. They will ship this box back here. Now in this box, I'm not going to open the whole thing up because I really don't have the room to open it up and spread everything out. But in this box, they have the original source drive, which they actually return to defective condition, and they have to do that per manufacturer regulations. Then they also send, depending on how much data is recovered, they send either a flash drive or a small portable hard drive they call the target drive with their target date, with the target data on it, the recovered data. And what I will do when this whole box comes back is I will take the target drive, go into it, and immediately back up what's on it. And for backing it up, I have a couple drives here that I do backups and data moves and data manipulation and all kinds of other stuff with. I will then back it up, and then I'll go over with the customer exactly where they want to put this data. And that's what the computer that I was going over in the other video is actually for. That's where we're going to put it. But we're going to put it on a large 5 terabyte external hard drive because of the amount of data that this customer is looking at putting on this machine for access on this laptop. Yes, DriveSavers is expensive, but they are extremely good at what they do. They're one of the best in the world when it comes to data recovery. I've had to do a lot of data recoveries with them. Last year, I think I did 3 recoveries in 2020. This year, so far, I've done 2 recoveries. This is why I say to people, when you have important data, please back it up. Because honestly, I hate having to call DriveSavers. I really do. It's very upsetting for the customer. It's very upsetting for me because I know it's a truly preventable problem. And the best advice I can give you, and I've said it 1,000 times, is back up your stuff. Make sure that they are full image backups. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, please call me. Please send me an email and ask me, and I will be more than happy to explain it to you. I think that's about it for this video. As always, feel free to rate, comment, like, and subscribe. And I'll see everyone next time. See y'all soon. Bye-bye.